Hey, thank you so much for listening. No matter when you are listening, no matter where you are, get comfortable. Get yourself a cup of tea, a glass, or an entire bottle of wine. Maybe smoke a blunt, get under a blanket, grab yourself some popcorn, and enjoy this week's episode of The Slut Show with Ellen Moore.
Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary beings, and any and everyone in between, we are live.
Due to the current situation in regards to COVID-19, instead of recording on location here in the Slut Show studio in Amsterdam, this episode is an Instagram live stream. Follow at The Slut Show with Ellen Moore on Instagram to never miss out on any updates, and without further ado, enjoy this week's episode.
My name is Ellen Moore, and welcome to this 5th episode of The Slut Show, a live stream on Instagram. Today I will be joined by a feminist sex educator. She might not physically take up a whole lot of space, but her personality sure as hell does. She is the queen of sex positivity. Welcome, Kat from We Are On Girls, to the live stream.
Hello.
So good to have you.
So good to have you too. And thank you so much for your beautiful introduction. I'm feeling very jazzed by that.
I'm happy to hear. I love that we're both ginger. Can we take a moment to appreciate that?
Very true. I know there's just not enough of us in the world. So
I agree.
Good to have two.
most certainly. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. Happy Women's Day. I've had a good day so far.
Happy International Women's Day indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Before we're gonna get into all the juice, I have a little leader.
The Slut Show with Ellen Moore, the podcast/talk show about shit you and I have to deal with on a daily basis. About feminism, insecurities, feeling like a bomb-ass bitch, and obviously about loads of sex. Enjoy your weekly dose of empowerment.
Your weekly dose of empowerment. Yes. What is the most empowering thing that you did recently?
It's difficult. Empowering. Well, yesterday I tied up my boyfriend and I was the one in charge. So that was like an interesting change of role play. So I felt like I was definitely in the dominant position.
Okay.
Anything else have I done this week? I've been in the house. I've just been in the house.
Tell me some more about tying up your boyfriend. That is interesting.
Yeah, I had this product to try. Actually, I have it here. It's this like bed bondage system. It looks like this.
Looks nice.
Yeah, and I just had to try it and to take some pictures, and I was like, okay, like why don't you try it? And then we just stayed, and then I was like, okay,
this is fun.
I'm gonna be the dominant one. Which is funny because I'm quite dominant in my usual life. But I think when it comes to sex, like, I don't know, it's difficult to, as a woman, to be the one, like, kind of pursuing it, to be the one being proactive. Because I think, I don't know, personally, I like to be desired. I like to be the one, you know, being pursued, if that makes sense. So
yeah, I get it.
It was really cool, actually, in a way, yeah.
Would you say that usually in the bedroom you're more of a submissive kind of person?
I'm not submissive either, but I'm like, I wouldn't take like a super, like I'm not like the dominant role. I'm not like I'm not either, you know. Like I think I find it difficult to know what to do if everything's up to me. Does that make sense? Like
yeah, no, I get that. Sometimes you're there and you're like, okay, so now I'm gonna like sit on top, I guess.
Yeah.
And then after you sit on top, you're like, okay, so now maybe reverse cowgirl, and then you're out of them.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man. Like, also when I'm finished, I just can't move. Like, I don't know. I'm just. It's funny. I mean, I run a sex page, right? But I'm literally the laziest person when it comes to sex. Like, it's funny. That's why I like masturbating so much. It's just like, it's just me. When I'm finished, it's finished. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get it. Yeah. Do you orgasm easily?
Yeah. Luckily, I do actually.
Great.
Yeah, when I was like casually dating, that was the first time I ever really had problems with orgasms. So that was new for me because I'd always been able to orgasm like since I was like 7 or something. I don't know. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first started masturbating?
Yeah, it was pretty much then. Like around then. I just remember listening to the Spice Girls. Like, do you know the song Two Becomes One? You know,
I
like do 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 do. I'm not gonna sing on camera, but it's like two people, and they're like two becomes one or
oh
something.
right. And
If you guys know it in the comments, let me know. It's a good song. It's a sexy song, actually. Spice Girls, Two Becomes One. Put it on your sex playlist because
I will.
it's actually highly recommended.
Definitely. For those who don't know, you're in a relationship and for a pretty long time.
Yes, for over 5 years, actually. Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
We met on Tinder, actually. So I think I am I'm a person that perseveres, right? Like I especially when it comes to love, right? Like I have always just had my heart on my sleeve, and I always wanted to be with somebody, and I always wanted to just to give my love to somebody, and I guess I was seeking a lot of approval as well, which I realize now when I look back. So like, you know, I've always chased after boys. Like when I was in primary school, I was trying to like go to the toilets with boys. They weren't even interested in me.
I remember you telling me this.
Like I was chasing them. You know that game? I don't know if you ever played. You're from the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever play in primary school? Boys chase the girls, and then when the boy catches you, like you have to let him kiss you or something, which is kind of rapey, definitely non-consensual. But
that is kind of rapey indeed.
But like when we played it, like I used to just be the one that would run really slowly so that boys would catch me and have to kiss me. Like I was just like, it's always I was just desperate. I don't know why. I've just been obsessed. I've been obsessed since day one. So I think I've been through the whole being rejected a lot in my life, and I think that's my process of my journey of like self-love and definitely sexual empowerment is because I've been slut shamed because I just love to spend time with people. I love to be with people. I love to have sex with people. I love to connect with people. People are beautiful, you know, why not? So
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your personal experience with slut shaming, is that one of the big reasons why you started We Are On Girls?
It's part of it, definitely. Like when I started in Vietnam, actually, so if I go way back to when I started this whole thing, it used to be called Leading Women, and it was like about the women like leading each other through like telling our stories. So that's really what it always was about. And I was just hugely inspired by the double standards that women face. Like I think everybody, especially it's Women's Day, right? Like we have such ridiculous standards in comparison to men.
And then men go, is there a man's day? Yeah, there is. Go celebrate it on your own time.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's us now. It's us.
I mean, if you're the kind of guy that's saying that, like I really would ask you to like look at yourself and reflect on the world and just see like it's not that you're a bad person or anything, but it's not really about you necessarily, you know. That's kind of the point. But yeah, I don't know, I think when you travel and you see like also the experiences of women in different countries, you know, being in Vietnam, like the women are definitely like don't have as many opportunities, just things like, especially like, you know, when I went there was a lot of Western guys who go to like places like Vietnam and Thailand, and they want to go there to meet girls, like, and don't get me wrong, like fair enough, I'm totally for like people dating people from around the world. I'm with a German guy and I'm Scottish, so cross-cultural relationships are great. But I think what I found was the problem was the inequality of like the power dynamics that a lot of guys are looking for. So I just felt like women really were not given a great sex education. They weren't allowed to be exactly. Like sometimes you don't even really realize that, like, these guys are just taking advantage of you. Sometimes they're actually quite smart though. It's not like the women aren't smart, but there's just zero sex education and very outdated, you know, things with women and sex. And the fun thing I found was when I was like living in Saigon, which was like one of the biggest cities, Ho Chi Minh City. They were like, yeah, Ho Chi Minh is like the sin city of Vietnam. Like women will come from the countryside and they can go out and they can go to a club and they can dance and they can drink, because they can't do that like in their you know, countryside, or even in the north, which is more traditional. So I was like, fuck yes, this is the best city for like women to come and just empower each other. So a lot of that was like things like slut shaming and sex, you know, just expectations of women to be pure and to be virgins and all of those things. I was just like, fuck that. That's just so messed up, you know?
Virginity is a social construct. Let us state that.
Exactly. Yeah.
How old were you when you realized that virginity is a social construct?
That's a good question. You know, I didn't really properly think about it until probably doing this job. So like, I didn't really like I didn't really get shamed so much for it. I actually was trying to lose my virginity. Like when I was 16, I was like, oh, my other friends are having sex with boys and nobody fancies me. So I actually really wanted to break my virginity. So I didn't really think about it. But then once I started doing this job, I was like, people were asking me like, okay, well, if I have anal sex, is that breaking my virginity? And I was like, yes. And they're like, okay, but what about if my partner fingers me? And I was like, I don't know.
Where does the, if you lay like,
what is the definition?
But like, there's people who say, well, if it's through the back door, it's not sex.
Yes. Oh
but
my God,
anal sex
yes.
is as much sex as giving a blowjob or fingering someone is.
That's when there's so many loopholes. Like it's like sex. There's not actual like proper rules, but people think there is, and it's
people
they do
made
crazy
them
things.
up.
Yeah, and it leads people to having anal sex when they're not ready because they don't want to break their virginity, which is just really strange. So I think for people in our countries, we usually anal sex is like one of the last sex experiences we will do. You know, like it's like you do everything else first.
Have you ever had anal sex?
I have, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
For me, it's actually interesting. You know, like I would always recommend to use lube, right? Absolutely, because of course you don't have like as much natural lube going on back there, right? However, for me, when I did, it actually just felt really weird. it felt like, okay, I'm gonna be really honest with you.
That's what we're here for. It's a soft show. Anything goes.
It just felt a bit like I was just doing a poo, like in and out, like just poo was coming in and then coming out again, like, and it was just not fun. Like actually, I enjoyed a little bit, like in the beginning, like like if you just put a finger, small thing, like right in the
pressure.
Yeah, like around just the entrance. Not when you're going fully in, because when it's fully in, it's like you're having a poo. Like it's just not fun. Squelchy. It is a bit. And then I think for me, I was also, of course, nervous that I was gonna like have a poo, you know, like because people like, actually do that, you know, that happens when you have anal sex. So I've known people that have had people accidentally poo on them because of anal sex. So you know, I think there's like. People need to really know. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it can happen. Like,
right? Yeah.
If you're going to do it, you've got to be open to not judging if that happens to the person. Right. Because fair enough.
I mean, this is gonna get nasty real quick, but so I've never had anal sex. Let me say that first. But there's a reason for that. Many, but the main one being I have irritable bowel syndrome.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well,
that's going to be difficult. Yeah. I would probably not recommend it. Yeah.
Don't call me up. Just it's no. And then there was this one person who I was sleeping with, and I was like, maybe with you. And then I realized that he had a massive dick, and I was like, no,
that's just everything coming out.
No, I'm not risking it.
You'd have to just not eat anything for a day at least, and have like a colonic or something, and then maybe that's.
I don't think that's worth it for me.
It's not very sexy, is it? I don't know. Some people are into it.
I don't know. Maybe there's people into having anal sex with people after they get everything washed out.
I think there are, and I'm beginning to meet more and more women. You know, actually, I read recently in a study that actually of the people that do have anal sex, including women, that has the highest rate of orgasm. So if you are having anal sex, apparently you are going to enjoy it. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to make of that, really, but
maybe it's because people who have anal sex in general, I would say, are
probably quite
advanced in their sexuality. Maybe that's it.
It's possible. I mean, anal orgasms do exist. So I would definitely recommend if you're interested, but you don't want to go fully into it. I definitely do experience pleasure from the area, but just like a little, just, like a finger or just a very small toy or something like that. Yeah, I've never used a tongue because I don't want somebody's face near my bum. Like I'm so, I
Do
still
it.
have, I still have,
I recommend.
oh
I
God,
recommend it.
I just, somebody, right? The reason I'm really also nervous about this, so if we're going to talk about body shame as well, because of course that's a huge reason, a huge thing that women face with sex.
Completely.
And body hair, when I was young, well, like 18, I didn't realize really that my pubic hair also like went around to my like ass, and I just never thought about it. I'd never even considered it, and I'd only been with one guy up until that point. He was my boyfriend in school, and he never said anything about it, so that's fine.
Right.
And then it was only when we broke up that I like slept with somebody, and we were doing it doggy style. And to be honest, I don't enjoy doggy style. I actually don't feel anything from it, like just personally. Like it's like there's no friction. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just going in and out, and I'm not really getting the point hit. But he loved it, so he's going for it. No worries. And then he sort of ghosts me, and this guy was chasing me for so long. Like he was just creepy. Actually, I was really rebounding after my ex. And when he just ghosted me, I was like, what happened? It was like he was in love with me like 10 minutes ago, and now he's stopped talking to me.
Right.
And eventually, when he did eventually text me like months later, I was like, yeah, why did you ghost me? And he was like, you have a hairy ass, so I didn't want to sleep with you anymore. And I was like, wow, bitch, okay. I mean, I was really lowering my standards to even meet you. I was like really desperate. I was really rebounding, like not in a good place. And then he has the audacity to tell me that my ass is too hairy. Bitch, have you ever seen a woman, like a real fucking woman? Like we have hair.
Oh my God, I am so furious at that guy on your behalf.
So obviously, like, I mean, I'm totally like getting more to terms with my body hair and everything. I think I'm actually quite a hairy person. I don't know. Have you heard that redheads, we have thicker, stronger hair than a lot of other hair colors?
We do, and I can confirm this by scientific research that I've done on my own. Because when I get my everything waxed, I don't wax my legs because I'm a lazy shaver. I actually started growing out my hair recently, and I think I didn't shave anything for like 3 months, and then today I was like, I'm shaving, I'm gonna be old,
I'm gonna be
slippery.
smooth.
Yeah, exactly. Because I just wanted to for myself. And so I was like, okay, cool. So it's been empowering doing this. Now this is empowering for me.
Absolutely.
But usually when it's not in the middle of a pandemic and in quarantine, I get my down there wax. And so my waxer, actually, I have this one waxing angel, as I call her, and she's like, have you ever been told that redheads have stronger and thicker hair? And I was like, is that so? She says, yes, and you and a couple other clients are my literal proof. And I'm like, okay, well, great.
Oh God, does it mean you have to, like, does she have to put more wax on, or?
Not necessarily, because it's also, we have more sensitive skin, obviously just sun.
True,
but also down there it's particularly sensitive apparently. But because I've been waxing for so long, I think my body's kind of used to it. But she does sometimes have to take him out with like the
tweezers.
That's not fun.
Dude, people keep telling me, just get a wax, just get a little bit. I just can't deal with pain. Like, I am not into pain at all.
It's really not that bad.
Yeah, people say that. But like, I mean, I can just about get my eyebrows waxed, but then I'm like crying for like the day after. So.
Eyebrows are more painful than my ooh-ah.
I also just think, I mean, I know like when you wax, like it grows back slower. At least I've heard that anyway. I don't really know if it's like actually a myth, because there's like a few things that are myths. Like I used to think that if you shave your hair, it grows back thicker, but it's actually not true. It's a myth. So
really?
Yeah. I know everyone thinks that, right? Like, but it's like more. It doesn't grow back thicker, but the problem is when you shave it, because of the way that the razor hits the angle of the hair, it doesn't cut it like exactly straight. So you're seeing it on a tilt. So you actually see a bit more of the hair. If you cut like something on a tilt. Anyway, we're getting very detailed here, but
that's fine. It's fine.
For me though, I just have got to this point where I know, like, if I even did it, like would have to go so often because it just goes back so quickly for me. Like I'm a very hairy person, and I kind of have to normalize that with myself first before I like, give myself like
Yeah.
something else to take it away, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
No, totally understand.
Yeah, but I have started to shave my legs a bit more now because again, it's just nice to sometimes feel a bit smooth. Again, it's like my partner he never complains, he's never had any issues. So I think that's, as long as nobody else is like shaming you into it, then that's all I would say to women is like, I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, you can't shave. If you're shaving, you're not a feminist, because that doesn't make any sense.
That's not feminist either.
Exactly. You can't put more new rules onto women. Just let women be and make their own decisions.
Let the rules go and just let each other be.
Exactly. But but the bum hair thing, that was put me off. Letting anybody near my ass. I'm even a bit scared, to be honest. Not scared, but I don't enjoy sitting on somebody's face as much because of that,
I have never properly sat on someone's face. A couple times, just, a little, a second. And then there's this guy who, I don't know how he did it. He seemed very athletic and flexible all of a sudden. But I'm sitting on top of him, riding him, and the next thing I know, I'm sitting on his face, and I didn't move. And I'm like, how did this happen? That was interesting. It was consensual, but it was interesting. I have a hard time orgasming, so I think it's very interesting that you have a much easier time orgasming. When you said that when you were having one-night stands or having more casual partners, that it was harder for you. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so when I was young, like I said, I was masturbating a lot, like from when I was super young. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was, oh God, I was like,
you're going at it.
I was just doing it, man. Like I literally had a tent in my room, like a tent inside my room. I wasn't living in a tent, but I had a tent in my room, which ended up becoming my wank tent, which is so funny. Like, if you guys know what wank means, it's like a huge gay term, like for like masturbating. But anyway.
I gotta get a wank tent.
A wank tent, it gave me a bit of extra protection in case my parents came in, like you go, oh yeah, I'm just in the tent, don't worry. Anyway,
she's in the tent again.
I would actually recommend doing it now if you live with like flatmates. Just get a tent, because
it's really not a bad idea.
People do say that they're like worried to masturbate in case their like family or their friends come in, or just get a tent. Okay,
I had a bunk bed. Works the same because you see the door open, but the content.
If you're on the top, absolutely. If you're in a hostel as well, choose that one, because you still got to do it sometimes when you're traveling. Okay,
I learned
a capsule hostel
the hard way.
Oh God, I'd rather not walk in on somebody, but
no,
if somebody's doing it discreetly and I don't know, fine, and don't like any of the liquids or whatever.
Yeah, I'll just go have a drink down at the bar.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I was quite familiar with my body, and I think a huge thing that I'm quite lucky about is I've got quite a good imagination, and I'm quite easy to turn on, like kind of to arouse at least. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that a lot of women face when they can't orgasm. It's like, maybe you're enjoying it physically, but for me, if I am not like mentally stimulated, and that, even with my partner knows most of the time I have sex, like I have to think of something, I have to like imagine some scenario, and that's really like, for me, that's how it works, like, so of course if you're not watching porn or something, 'cause porn can be a good way of doing that. So anyway, I grew up always like enjoying it, and with my first boyfriend, it was fine, it was pretty easy. And then when we broke up and Tinder was out, I was like, cool, I'm gonna be amazing, because I'm one of the girls that likes sex, like I'm like one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
And now I can be a boy, also because I had this like I wanted to be that kind of girl that like was very like casual and chill, I made this reel recently where it was like I thought I had to be the cool girl, and I'm not a chill person. I'm a very like open, honest, I'm just like a very like awkward but loving person, you know. I'm just
You're
not
not playing
cool.
all the games that
No,
society wants
I
you
just
to.
don't know how to. Like, I am not chill. I'm not cool at all. So
Same.
I thought, like, at least if it comes to sex, you know, I can be this cool girl, you know, who's like having
Right.
casual sex, right? And I think then when I started having sex, I actually thought most of the guys would probably want to be in a relationship with me because that's all I'd ever experienced, you know, like and again, I was 19 or 20 or something like that, so I was quite young. And I was just sorely disappointed when I think I maybe only orgasmed like 20-30% of the time with them, which is actually still quite decent, I think, in comparison to like statistics. But I just don't know. I don't know. I think in reality, if I look back, most of the time I was meeting people not for the right reasons. I was meeting them because I needed some kind of affection, or I needed some acceptance, or I wanted some kind of like physical affirmation from somebody else, you know, to make me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And that's not really. I would go with people I didn't even like, you know. I would just be like, okay, well, he seems okay, so then
we do. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I just go with it. And I was quite like, for me, sex was never like a moral issue, you know, so I'm pretty easy. I guess I was easy, you know, for me, it wasn't like that, you know, but
The word easy.
yeah,
Oh man.
yeah,
Just makes all the hairs I don't have anymore after today's shave
yeah.
stand right up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I know for sure, like if I look back, I know, I mean, a guy I thought I was dating, actually, I thought I was in a relationship with a guy, actually. And it was funny because we were dating for like 2 months or something. And then he kind of like left me for this other girl. And actually, a year later, I was back in Berlin because we met when I was in Berlin the first time. I bumped into the girl that he left me for, right? And I didn't want to talk to her because it was kind of awkward, but I was in a club with my mom. So me and my mom were like in the club, and my mom was like clubbing with me. So this is like a normal thing. And then my mom starts talking to her, right? And I'm like, oh my God, my mom's talking to that girl. And my mom's like, oh yeah, I'm here with my daughter. You should come meet my daughter. And then I'm like, hey, oh, we know each other. And we ended up becoming really good friends. And now we're really good friends now. She's one of my best friends now.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, she told me like, she told me that he had told her that I was just some easy sex person, you know. I was just like this girl he'd have around to have sex with sometimes. And then we weren't in a relationship. We weren't even really seeing each other. So like, that's why when she was hanging about, like she was kind of with him too. And I was thinking like, what's going on with her? Like, why is she getting in the way of us? And it turned out he just was telling her the whole time, nothing's going on with her. I'm just fucking her because she's easy.
Oh my God, that must have hurt so much.
Oh, well, by that point, luckily, I was in a much better place. I was with my partner now. I met him after that. And but yeah, I mean, I think if I look back and I look at a lot of the guys I went on dates with and I ended up sleeping with, I just did not know why I was with them. I was with them for bad reasons. I was just meeting them because I was lonely, or I was like lacking some kind of self-confidence. And I thought I was just searching for something in them, you know. And I think when you are with the right person, it's just you have this connection and you're like both giving each other energy and exchanging something, and that can lead to better sex. But when you're just with somebody that's just like there's nothing there and you're just doing it for some kind of bad reason, then it's difficult to have good sex.
You're not gonna find something in someone if you can't find it in yourself. I think that the moment you realize that everything you need is in yourself, that's the moment you're going to start having actually good sex.
I think that's a big part.
Yeah, it's also a big part of just learning in life. That's something I learned very, very recently. I've not had sex in forever. I don't know how it works anymore. But, you know, we're in a quarantine, so what can I do?
Absolutely. It could be a good time to learn about yourself and learn about what you need and why you're doing the things you're doing, you know?
Yeah, certainly. I've spent more time over this past, year at this time already than I've spent in my entire life, maybe even. So that says a lot, and it's been so insightful. Yesterday, I posted a masturbation-related poll on my stories, and I asked if you wanted to know the results, and a lot of people said they did. So you're gonna guess which one most people chose, and then I'll give you the correct answer. So firstly, vibrator or dildo?
Vibrator.
I thought it was going to be 100%, but 11% prefers a dildo, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, it's I think it's interesting, definitely. For me, it really depends. I would say most of the time I'm going to use a vibrator because it's easier, but sometimes you're just like craving something inside you, you know?
Yeah. Totally. No, 100%. But then I'm still using like a womanizer or a satisfier or something else, because I'm not going to come by just riding a dick, and it's hard work.
It's difficult to put in, I think. That's, for me, like, it takes a lot more prep to actually fucking shove that in. Like,
a lot of oil or lube as well.
Yeah, or you've got to be like really. The only times I do it is like when I'm really excited. Like, I want to have the full experience. You know, I'm going at it like on the clit for a bit, and then I'm like kind of going in between, and then I'm like,
you're taking like a proper half hour to an hour.
Yeah, which is, I would say, like once a week versus like I probably masturbate like, I don't know, 7 times a week. I don't know.
Yeah, daily-ish.
Yeah, sometimes like multiple times, and then sometimes nothing during the day. So yeah.
Did you know, by the way, I've been telling this in every single live show / podcast, because if you're listening to this is actually a live show. If you didn't know, you can tune in on Mondays at the Slut Show with Ellen Moore on Instagram. Anyways, did you know that there is something special with 3 in the afternoon?
Oh, that's when I get tired. What goes on at 3?
At 3 p.m., women have their highest estrogen levels, so it's best for them to have sex or masturbate. And when I learned about that, I was like, well, that explains why 3 is my little break time.
Absolutely. I love an afternoon. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a morning. I mean, morning actually for me is still better than evening, because I'm so tired when I go to bed. I'm like full. Sometimes I'm like gassy. It's like I'm not sexy. You know what I mean? Like, like, morning is also a bit like that. Like, I need to pee and my breath smells bad, so I'm like not feeling sexy either.
Kisses.
It's like when your lips are so dry and you're like sticking together. You're like, I know this is romantic, but it's not great.
Smelling like yesterday's garlic and shit.
But for guys, their testosterone, or for people that have penises, at least their testosterone is highest in the morning. So I guess like morning to afternoon would be a good time, or morning to like in the daytime would be best for
what I
couples.
was told was that 5 p.m. was the best for guys.
Okay.
So that would make 4 a perfect in between.
Absolutely.
So you're
I think it's just fine
yet.
time. Fuck work. Who cares? Because if you're in the office, just leave the office. Just
leave it.
It's home office now. Everybody's at home.
So have her come to the bathroom. That works.
Oh, absolutely. And then it's a bit exciting as well. So.
Oh, first let's finish the list. Then I want to get back to a little exhibitionism. Womanizer or satisfier?
I don't know really. Maybe satisfier.
Yeah, I was shocked because I feel like womanizer is way better branded, but satisfier got 69%.
I don't know. I think depending where you are in the world, maybe different regional markets. I don't know. I'm sounding very businessy right now.
Totally. And what about bullet vibrator versus magic wand? Magic wand. Magic wand.
That's a good question. I don't know. I think like the people that are into the wand are like diehard fans. Right. So I'm gonna say wand. But
that's 100% what I thought. But bullet vibrator got 55%. I was shocked.
See, I would prefer the bullet over the wand.
Really?
Just
why?
Because it's a bit more accurate. I like the I've actually never tried a wand yet.
I haven't either.
They just look really big, and people have told me it depends a lot on the brand that you choose. Like, but some of them look like too intense for me, you know. Like, I think if I used it, I would come in seconds and it would be over.
Right.
So like, I kind of like something where it's like a bit more pinpointed and it's a little bit gentler to begin with, and also a bullet you can also like insert if you want to get a bit of vaginal like stimulation as well. So it's like a vibe. It's like a finger that vibrates. For me, still the best masturbation is with fingers. I'm just like,
Good for you.
I love my hand. I know. Well, I'm about to start teaching. But I can't even show you right now. I will show you. I have in this box actually. I have a vagina in this box actually.
Oh my god! I want to see this privately.
I mean, I can show you a little bit. It's in this thing, right?
Right.
And it's basically a masturbation aid for people with penises, right? But
right.
You know, I'm about to start teaching masturbation with hands. So I was like, well, I'm not quite the exhibitionist to show myself, you know.
Yeah, fair. No, that's fair.
So I had to buy this off Amazon, and now Amazon thinks I'm a bit. Well, fair enough. You know.
I have one website where I always, through which I always order my sex toys, which is not a sex toy retailer, but something else. I also gift all of my girlfriend's sex toys.
That's
and I'm
lovely.
just like, you know, I'm also such a...
Absolutely, yeah. If somebody wants to sponsor the Slut Show with some sex toys, you know.
Please do. We're actually looking for a sponsor for the next studio shot season, so hopefully that's going to be coming up. Vibrating panties versus a remote-controlled egg. I didn't even know vibrating panties were a thing, but
yeah, I mean, they're kind of old school, I think. I don't know, like, but I think maybe the vibrating panties.
It was 45 for the vibrating panties and 55 for the remote-controlled egg.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So that's interesting. I recall a story of a friend of mine. I don't know if she's comfortable with me telling this, but you know, it's anonymous.
Exactly. It could be a different friend.
Yeah, exactly. She was on a date with this guy, and so she had put it in, and then she, halfway during dinner, she shoves like the remote control to the other side of the dinner table. It was their first date. They had never met. It was like Tinder kind of thing. And he was like, "What's that?" She was like, "Test it." And how the rest of that story came to an end, I will leave to your imagination.
Ooh. Did you enjoy it at least?
And they both really enjoyed it.
All right, interesting.
Yeah, very good story as well. Would you go for the butt plug or anal beads?
That's a good question. Probably a butt plug. I don't know.
The majority was with you, with 65% for butt plug in comparison to 35 for anal beads. And for me, the next one, I don't have to think about it, but apparently people don't agree with me. So, lube or oil?
I mean, I would choose lube. What did other people choose?
67% is with you.
So why do you...
I'm an oily kind of person. I like...
Wait.
Being all oiled up.
Yeah, that's true. Like massage oil can be super nice, definitely.
Yeah.
But if it's like coming to sex, then it's like, yeah, I don't know. I would be thinking it'd be a bit sticky. Maybe oil can be a bit sticky sometimes.
Baby oil is fantastic. Coconut oil works very well as well.
That's true. That's true. But of course, you can't use it with condoms, so be careful.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Although I mean. That's it. I don't know if you're not using the latex condoms, maybe you're all right, but I'm not sure. There's not so many of those, but I know lots of people are allergic to latex, so they need to use different types of condoms actually. So
I've never met someone, luckily.
Yeah,
but that must be complicated.
Yeah, I think actually a lot of people are, and they don't even really notice because it can just be like a burning kind of sensation, and that it can be quite normal actually. Like, so you don't know, is it from the sex or is it from you know, the condom?
Yeah, of course.
So but yeah, oil can be super nice. I'm just, I don't know, you know, yesterday I used a massage candle, and it's like you burn the candle and then you like drip the oil into it, and it was really nice actually. It's just, I think I realized I'm just really lazy and I don't really do anything. Like people expect me to be super kinky or super like elaborate in my sex life.
Yeah,
and
same.
I'm just not actually, like, but I find everything so interesting, and that's for me like why I do what I do, because I'm just curious, like from a human perspective, you know, like
right.
And of
I
course,
love.
from a female perspective, yeah.
Yeah, totally, same. People always think, oh my God, you host a slut show, so you must be this and that and that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm a lazy fuck. But if you want to oil me the hell up, I
Yes,
will
if you want to do it to
enjoy
me,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
go for it, definitely.
go for it. Would you say naked or lingerie? Tiny difference.
I mean, I think probably other people maybe chose lingerie.
49% lingerie, so
That's pretty close.
51 for naked.
That's pretty close, yeah. I don't, what do you prefer, being naked or lingerie?
When it's with my regular partner, naked 100%. But I love wearing lingerie at times. This is actually also lingerie, but I'm just wearing it.
It looks beautiful, yeah.
Thank you. I'm wearing something underneath to not, have the boobs fall out in the middle of this
And then
conversation.
people are just like, where's the camera gonna go?
Right.
Please show us some.
Right, yeah. What about you?
I do also love to wear super nice lingerie. It's the right set, it just makes you feel so confident about yourself. But I don't know, I'm really on a quest to like become more relaxed being naked, actually. I mean, I come from the UK. I don't think it's as open-minded as you Dutch people. Like, I've heard you're quite like,
Fair.
you're pretty, I don't know. I live in Germany and people are quite open to be nude here. And that has definitely encouraged me to overcome like I kind of felt like if you didn't have the perfect body, like you didn't look like a model, that you just couldn't be naked, like, and that's just that's not true, obviously, but that's how it felt. So actually just being naked and seeing myself naked more, and kind of getting turned on by it. I don't know, like I turn myself on. I don't know.
I know, I do, I get that, I do too, and I always feel like, is this a good
Am
thing?
I like autosexual?
Right, exactly.
Am I in love with I am in love with myself. So,
and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh man, you're hot. And
yeah.
then sometimes there's these moments you're like, fuck, I'm gonna masturbate now.
Yeah. Seriously, that's for me. Like, I would say to everybody, but especially to women or to femmes or whatever you want to identify as. Definitely, if you can get to the point where you can look at yourself in the mirror and just think, no matter if your body is whatever size, shape, color, whatever is going on, like if you can just look at that and think, fuck yes, like
Let's go.
Absolutely, like even with a partner, I'm still the one I'm kind of most attracted to. I know that sounds really weird, but I'm very attracted to my partner, but when it comes to sex, like I get turned on by the fact that like he's turned on by me. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. But that is normal. That is human. I think
it's fine. I think, to be honest, for me, like it's such a practical way to empower yourself,
Of
because
course, 100%.
like we're always told to be, oh yeah, you can't be proud of yourself, or you can't think you're attractive. Well, what should I leave my whole self-worth up to somebody else? Well, what? No, absolutely not. It's like I can decide that. I can decide that I'm beautiful, and I can definitely. And when you realize that you have the power to do that, you also take away the power from other people to change how you feel. So I think sex is a super empowering tool if you like look at it from the right perspective. I think, yeah.
From like a sociological, psychological, and
absolutely.
pedagogical level, it's so fascinating. I think it's also a big reason why we do what we do on the internet.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm happy that you guys tuning in are liking what we say.
I know. Thanks for the support, guys. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying.
Right. Yeah. Same. So guys get turned on by girls. Some guys do, some don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I get turned on by guys and guys too. Like that's hot too. Like everybody's hot, actually.
I love humans.
Yeah,
turn me on. Right. So you just said that if you felt like if you didn't look like a model, you couldn't feel that empowerment, etc. And I realized when I was doing high fashion modeling and when I was looking in the mirror, I was like, okay, so now I am that, but I want to look like the girls on the magazines as well. So no matter to what size you get, that's not it. It's here. It's not physical.
Absolutely. I mean, I think anybody that's ever been on a diet or ever thought about they had to lose weight, like, you think that so much will change and so much will get better, you know, if you lose weight. You know, if I just get to this body size or this dress size or whatever, then I will be happier. And the reality is you don't actually, like, no matter what size you are, that it's in itself doesn't make you happy, it doesn't make your life better. The only thing that can change is, like, in your mind first. Like, are you, you know, I think it's absolutely fine to think I want to get healthier, I want to get fitter or whatever.
But that's for a totally different reason than wanting to change your body in order to be
just for the sake of
it.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have that mentality where you already are so hating on yourself, like, just by losing the weight, it won't make you happy because you're not happy. You've got to work on that first, you know. So
absolutely,
yeah,
it's super important. I know that you're quite a little exhibitionist. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always just enjoyed, like I said earlier, like, for me, I guess, I don't know if it's a fetish. I don't know if it would go so far as a fetish, but I just like that other people are, like, sexually attracted to me. Does that make sense? I mean, I used to always think, like, oh, I thought everybody wants to be attractive. That's normal, I think. But yeah, I mean, I definitely do get turned on by other people getting turned on by me. So, you know, fair enough. Like, I'm just gonna own that now. And yeah, I definitely enjoy, like, the little bit of danger, you know, of, like, let's say outdoor sex or something like that, you know, like.
What's the weirdest place you've ever had sex?
I would say either, like, in the woods or in a swimming pool or in the changing rooms of a public swimming pool or something.
Good ones.
Although doing it in water I wouldn't recommend because it's actually quite difficult. But
how do you do that? Because it gets so dry. It
does get dry. I mean,
which sounds so weird.
If I'm that's the thing. Like, if I'm in a position where I'm, like, it's sort of dangerous, like, not dangerous, like I'm going to kill myself, but, like, maybe somebody can see us, then I'm already, like, really turned on, you know. So I can finish in, like, 30 seconds, right? The poor guy doesn't finish. Like, he doesn't get to finish. Sorry, guys, but if it comes to me,
I love that.
It's like, you know, I'm so ready. I'm so, like, oh my god. And then once it goes in, I'm like, I'm done.
So jealous of that. Oh my god.
So I think, you know, for me, it's not about the physical aspect. It's not about the physical aspect. It's, like, for me, almost 90%.
It's mental.
Like, mental, definitely. And then all I need is, like, that. It's like the hype of it. It's like, oh my god, is it going to happen? Should we do it? Can we do it? Oh my god, like, what if somebody catches us? You feel so, that is so the thing that gets me, you know. And I think if you can find the thing that gets you there, then you will do it, no matter even who you're with. Probably won't even matter anymore. I know I said earlier, right, don't do it with people that you don't like, but in reality, just from the pure basics of, if I can analyze how I can come so easily, you've got to find what are the buttons you've got to press to turn yourself on, and then you can do it anywhere.
Needs oxytocin.
Honestly,
100%. Shout out to whoever said that in the comments.
Yeah, I love it, man. I mean,
100%. I don't know if I ever told this story. If I did, then just someone tell me. If I didn't, well, here we go. My juicy sex story is out there. It's coming. So when I was a certain age, I gotta keep it anonymous, I was on a long train ride and I was going somewhere, and at one point I was like, you know, I'm here with my boyfriend, let me just, you know, I'm super turned on. And he was like, I don't know. So I went to the restroom and I got out of my undies and I put my dress back on. And so I walked back and I was like, can I sit on your lap for a second?
I'd be there, man.
And he was like, yeah, sure. And then I made him feel it. He was like, Ellen. And I was like, your name. And so he was like, God. I was like, why not? And so we were sitting in the train. Like, there were other people in the train, in the wagon. And so the way the train was bouncing up and
that would
down.
be good, man. I can imagine. That would be amazing.
But then we had the issue of, because we had been together for some time. I was on birth control, and they were safe, you know. So I knew I could do it without a condom.
Yeah, sure.
So I was like, okay, where do we leave the condom?
Oh my God, that is the problem. That is the
problem.
You got
And so
skip it up and like run.
I looked at him. I was like, I can't let it drip. I can't stand up and then have it drip like all over my legs. It was.
You don't even have your underwear anymore to like catch it or something. Yeah, oh
exactly. So I was like, okay, I'll. So that worked.
Oh my God.
You know?
What did you do? I didn't really get it.
I swallowed.
Oh
so,
my God.
Yeah,
you are a trooper. You are. I would not have done that. I would be like, bitch, get your hand out. You're just gonna deal with it, okay?
But you can't leave sperm in a train wagon.
Well, look, I have learned one thing, right? You have to have tissues on you at all times. It doesn't matter, because it's when it comes to like you need the toilet or you've got your period or you're gonna have sex randomly. Always have. Also in your bed, keep tissues like around the bed. You know,
toilet paper rolls everywhere in the house, literally.
You can keep some in your bra or something, because you just don't know. Maybe it's going to happen. And that is the thing. If you are in a relationship and you know each other's sexual health and you're like, you don't have to use a condom, you got to deal with the cleanup. And that is the problem. Yeah. I mean, I am jealous of women having sex with women, because you don't have to deal with that. New Clean It's campaign, honest to God, it is so true. This is the problem. Also, like, if you're in a place where you're going to be really quiet and then you've got to run to the toilet like afterwards, like you know, I used to do
run because it's running out.
Oh my God, you know, I used to do Airbnb in my old flat. And it's quite good, you know, like to make money and everything, and everyone's super nice. Actually, all the guests we had were so lovely, and I actually would recommend it, because it was really nice to meet people and, you know, make a bit of side income.
Right.
But the problem when you share a bathroom with like random people, and I'm like actually very conscious of noise, so when I had guests and I would have sex, like I would be really quiet, try to be really quiet about it, because I don't want them to hear. That's so awkward, you know, like.
Right.
And then, but the problem is like, okay, you've kind of had sort of, sometimes I would make snoring noises while I would be having sex. So I would pretend I'm snoring. Like, I'm like, oh, like literally, just to try and make it seem natural. Like,
what a life hack.
But like, the problem was, it's like when you're finished, the both of you get up and just like run to the toilet, and you're like, what was going on? I thought they were sleeping, and now they're both running to the toilet. Like, what's going? So
oh man,
I just wouldn't actually recommend that. Get tissues, and if you are going to just do it like in a random place, probably best just to wear a condom, to be honest. Like,
I always have extra underwear with me. I bought like the cheapest underwear at the cheapest store I could find, you know, like
like Primark or something,
thong with zero fabric, to just have an extra one. And
that's a good idea.
Bags. It's I totally recommend to everyone watching, even guys, just bring an extra pair.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not just about sex, it's about anything. Exactly. Anything. You don't know what's going to happen. So absolutely.
Speaking of running to the toilet after, I had this one situation in which I usually live in an apartment with 3 other people, and you know, I have sex and I have it loudly. I'm sorry. You live with me. I'll buy you some earplugs. You know, we're gonna.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Right. I gotta be able to do my research. So, you know, we did our thing. We had fun, and so I ran to the toilet, and then I didn't realize that the entire house was sitting in the kitchen talking, and so
but I've been there.
The light goes on everywhere, and I'm on the toilet naked because it's like 3 a.m. I did not have a clue they were up, and so I want to go outside, but I hear everyone being in the living, and so I go, hey, are you guys up? And they're like, yeah, come join us. And I'm standing there naked in the toilet. I had no idea what to do.
Oh God.
And so this guy comes out and he's like, what? Butt naked. And he stands in the door opening. He's like, hi. And he closes the door again. And I'm like, well, I'm still naked on the toilet. So, well, eventually I just didn't care and I just went out.
Just ran out.
But it was very embarrassing.
When you live with people, like, you get to see these really intimate sides of each other. And I think that's why it's so important to live with the right people, like, because,
Absolutely.
you know, especially as an adult, like, you cannot stop these parts of your life. They are normal parts of most people's life, you know, unless you're like asexual or whatever, you don't want to have sex, which is, of course, totally fine. But if you do, you know, like, don't shame your flatmate, because then if you do it, then we won't shame you. I think, of course, when it comes to noise, sometimes you've got to be careful, you've got to be considerate. You know, I've had sex sometimes where I accidentally like left the door open. No, the problem was in one of my old flats, we had a cat, like my flatmates had a cat, and the cat would come into the door, like come into the room, and it would sort of knock the door open. It was one of those doors that was sort of difficult to close properly.
Right.
So I thought I had it closed, and it turned out it wasn't closed properly, so the cat would come in. And then
the cat is staring.
Well, like, I don't even know. The cat's probably left the room at this point, but has left the door almost like half open. And we were just going at it, and it probably didn't help that we'd had eaten an edible. You know what I mean by an edible? Like, anyone who's young, don't listen to what I'm saying right now. But if you're from the Netherlands, it's probably fine because you guys eat brownies like this all the time. I don't know if you do.
For breakfast.
Yeah, you have them for breakfast, like coffee and cake, like this, that. Anyway, we had an edible, and we were just totally out of it, and we were just having sex so loudly, like,
and
so
not
loud.
at all aware.
Absolutely not aware. And my flatmates were like just outside the door because the flat was very small and could hear absolutely everything. And I was like, oh fuck, you know. But we see each other naked and everything, so you know. I mean, talking about red hair, like once when I was really fucked, I was really like, I'm just gonna call it drunk. I was drunk one time with my one of my best friends, and I was just like, you know, nobody's got red hair, and I think it's very unique. So I've decided not to shave my pubes because I've got a little ginger afro now. on my
So if you were wondering, do the carpet match the drapes?
They do. They're actually more red than my hair, so I've always been proud of it. I'm like, that is unique, you know, people would pay money for that stuff. So I was like, I've got a ginger afro, like, I'm very proud of it.
I love that. Good for you. You should be proud of it. Totally.
You know, I think once you overcome these things, it makes life so much more fun, because you just
100%.
Don't let shame stop you from having fun and just like not taking life too seriously, you know, and find people around you, find friends who agree with you, because it just makes life so much more fun. Definitely
find friends who give you sex toys.
Absolutely.
And have flatmates who you can walk around naked with. And close the door for you if you forgot to close it yourself.
That would be nice, actually. Yeah, maybe they were enjoying listening.
I had that once.
No.
I don't want Instagram to cut us off, so unfortunately we're already running out of time. But
the time goes so fast.
So much fun doing this with you.
Yeah, me too, definitely. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you at home for tuning in for this week's live slut show.
I know, you guys have been amazing. Thank you for all the nice comments.
You sure as hell have. Next week I will be back, same place, same time, and this time I will be joined by yet another ginger bad bitch. She is a feminist and boss babe, and you, I think, know her, is Leah from Mad Women Magazine.
I do know, yes. Oh, she's amazing.
I'm super excited for that as well. Yeah, exactly. If you like this episode, I am sure you will like season 1 and 2 just as much. So head over to youtube.com/byellenmoore or listen to the Slut Show on your favorite podcast platform. If you want to support the Slut Show, you can head over to my Patreon page, follow, obviously, the queen of sex education on Instagram, and hopefully myself as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you at home for watching.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
Sluts out.
Sluts out, yes. Bye.